Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, I recently checked out The Devil's Advocate. Revisited it after 20 23 years because I saw it in 99 for the first time. I was 14 when I first saw this movie. But revisiting it as an adult, and as a person who reviews movies, I gotta say, this is actually a movie that they say it's a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes here. But honestly, I think that this movie is very well done. The synopsis here: Kevin Lomax, an ambitious, talented young district attorney, joins a powerful New York law firm headed by a mysterious and charismatic John Milton. As Lomax faces intense seduction of success and money, he is increasingly tempted. That is actually a quite apt description of this film. Now, this film starts off with major shit. I mean, when they go into the den of, or when I say that this film drops right into a den of sin, I am not kidding. Yes, there is sex. Yes, there is nudity and whatnot, full frontal for the women, top and bottom. But pushing that aside, if you can actually pay attention to the story of what is going on, how this man who cannot lose, that's the wonderful thing. He has such an ego, Keanu Reeves in this film, Kevin Lomax. He can't lose. Even when he knows he is being given clients who are guilty. I mean, the beginning of the movie, he's defending a pedophile. This dude is literally, when his victim is up on the stand, he's literally rubbing the underside of the desk they're sitting at in the way that she's describing how he was touching her. And it's like, oh my god, this dude is seriously sick. He's pretty much jacking off in the freaking courtroom. Not actually whipping it out and wanking, but still. When Keanu Reeves catches him, he's like, I absolutely love how they write some of the lines. As your attorney, I'm advising you to stay the fuck away from me. And he now knows that he has a guilty client. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like the fact that they are, or he wants to defend people who actually are worthy of defense, who are most likely not guilty. But he is, in this film, given guilty client after guilty client, especially when he moves to New York. He takes a health code violation and whatnot and turns it around, winning a case where this guy was butchering his own goat, or butchering a goat, which is clearly a health code violation. Well, he then turns it around and says, well, he was just exercising his constitutional right to religious freedom. It's part of his religion that he butchers his own animals for food. And the transformation of different characters throughout this film, the character arcs that they all go through, specifically Kevin Lomax and Charlize Theron, because Charlize Theron plays a great character, his wife in this, and she is a firecracker, man. In the beginning of this movie, she's his wife, so in love with him, and does a wonderful job playing that character. But when she is brought to New York and she's getting a taste of this life that he wanted, the high life, the success and all that stuff, but seeing the reality behind it, she's allowed to see the reality behind it because she needs to be pushed out of the way. And that's one of the better parts of this, because it shows a person who should have had some ounce of humility in his work, but doesn't. He casts it all aside, and he has to then go through life paying the price until the end of the film, where it actually does a bring back to the beginning. And I'm like, okay, they have a reset. What are they going to do? Is he going to make the decision to do it all over again? with what he knows, because he actually now knows what's going on. And I love how they end it where he creates a disbarable offense for himself. Now, the acting specifically with Charlize Theron, how she is constantly her spiral downward into insanity to the point where her character takes her own life by taking a piece of broken mirror and just slicing her neck. That it's all great and well done. The acting in all of the situations where she is trying to tell her husband, this place is wrong. There is something wrong here. He doesn't want to listen because he's so brought in by the success of winning and the high of all of it. And Al Pacino playing the devil and the head of this firm is just, it's almost like Al Pacino was freaking tailor made to play the devil. He just plays it so damn well. I mean, this movie was well directed. Purely well directed. Connie Nielsen and Charlize Theron play two separate characters. Basically, Connie Nielsen is the temptation that Keanu Reeves' character has to play or reacts to, and Charlize Theron is his wife, who knows that something is wrong, and yet she's now starting to get pissed off as well because she knows that he's basically window shopping for a better, or for a replacement, essentially. He doesn't want to admit it, but he is in fact doing that. But also he is still in love with his wife. Now, Judith Ivey, who plays Alice Lomax here, she does a wonderful job in having a dark secret and basically coming out and explaining it after, or in the worst possible time, because, as I said, Charlize Theron X's out herself, and he's now hit with the revelation that this guy that he's working for is actually his father, and it turns out he's also the devil. And Judith Ivey, she is an extremely religious person who at 16 years old was sent up to New York for missionary work, essentially, and she got seduced by Al Pacino's character, and they conceived a kid. Connie Nielsen is basically a lawyer slash child of the devil herself. Craig T. Nelson's character is a real estate developer. Now, this guy is indeed guilty in his case as well, but Lomax, after realizing all this, is like, oh my freaking god. He set me up by saying he was boning his assistant so he couldn't have been killing his wife. But they finds out that that's not the case, because he asks the assistant, played by Laura Harrington, she's not pictured here. It's like, is he circumcised? Because any question could go on to the frickin' court. This is a murder case, and she's a witness that's establishing an alibi for the defendant. And she hesitates and is like, they aren't having an affair. This dude probably killed his wife. So you just see how there's so many twists and turns in the story, and it's really great. The acting in all of this is really well done. Heather Matarazzo, she's I believe a teenager in this film. She plays like a 12 or 13-year-old girl in the beginning of this film. The guy that was basically beaten off in the beginning of the film in court, not really doing it, but mimicking, he's rubbing the underside of his desk as she's describing what this guy was doing to her. And she absolutely does a wonderful job with the acting. The acting in this film is phenomenal, folks. where she is truly portraying a character who has been molested. And it is absolutely great acting in the way that she has done it. I'm almost wondering if something actually did happen to her, because she comes across so genuine in this film as somebody who has had those horrible acts uh, perpetrated against her. You also have Delroy Lindo in this film, who plays another client. I mean, there's just so many great actors and actresses in this film. And Taylor Hackford, man, his sense of direction, or his ability as a director in this film, is really well done. The writing in this film is pure genius in many ways. And I absolutely love the reset that they do at the end because of the plot twist moment, or it's like, okay, this is how I beat the devil. Because he wants his son to help him build a family on Earth and whatnot. The way that he explains all of it makes it so, hey, maybe he has a point. But he is the devil, so you know that anything he says is basically serpent twisted, or serpent tongue twisted, you know? This movie is really freaking good. I mean, even with all of these, or it's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes is trustworthy nowadays, but back then it was actually trustworthy. And I gotta say that The Devil's Advocate is a movie that is worth seeing. I mean, the only real thing that harms this movie is the southern accent that Keanu Reeves tries to do. I mean, Keanu Reeves does a great job in his acting. It's just that the southern accent it's like, you could have done anything else, or you could have tried to go and do a different accent, man. But oh my god, the movie still is good. I absolutely love it, because it's also a movie that follows my own belief system of stay humble. This is a person who eventually lost his humility and just kept on going. Well, he gets his humility back. He gets his sense of morality back, understanding that maybe there is a time to lose, because he's constantly wanting to win as a lawyer. And I love how he's like, I'm a lawyer. I win. I don't lose. And he understands he has to lose in order to win in this case. There's no way around it. And I absolutely love that. He has to regain what's left of the soul that he left behind, defending guilty parties when he's constantly put in the path of having to defend guilty parties. But yes, this movie is a movie that is absolutely brilliantly shot. It's the cinematography is well done. Digital effects are aged a little bit, but honestly, I'm guessing that the people that worked on From Dusk Till Dawn worked on this one, because you see similar puppeteering, you see similar monster effects in this film, because you see what you think might be a trick of the light or a distortion, where some women kind of show off their demonic nature, as well as a couple of homeless guys. And it really is done well. I mean, yes, the digital effects are aged a little bit, but they're still done very well. The direction, like I said, writing, stroke of genius. The setting is great. The story is perfect. And when I say perfect, I pretty much mean perfect. The story-wise. The acting is superb, except for that terrible southern accent that he does. Objectively speaking, this film is about an 8.5 to a 9. There are problems with it, and the CGI being lesser quality, but also the southern accent does kind of take you out of the performance a little bit. Subjectively, This film is beautifully done. I absolutely love it. It's one that I honestly can recommend to anybody who likes suspense, horrors, and whatnot. Moviegoer, this film, it's about a 9.5. I won't say it's perfect because there are some things that it's like, okay, now, or let's get on to the main point here. But other than that, yes, this movie is absolutely a great movie. So yeah, that's going to be my review. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What did you think? If you have seen The Devil's Advocate, did you like it? Did you not? What were your favorite parts in it? Make sure you check out one of these two videos down below. And have a wonderful day, folks. And always remember, stay humble.